Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Hughes for Oxford News this week. Some of the headlines coming up. Step closer to independent review. A rare tornado actually touched down real close to Oxford in Oakland County, closer to Holly, and a fantastic season for Oxford football. Sit back, stay tuned. I'm Jim Hughes. I'll be bringing you Oxford News this week. Danielle Smith will become the new deputy supervisor of the Charter Township of Oxford at the start of the brand new year. The Township Board of Trustees voted unanimously to approve her appointment at the regular meeting last week. Smith has lived in Oxford since she was 2. She graduated from the Oxford High School in 2012 before earning a bachelor's degree in communication from the Rochester Christian University back in 2018. She has worked as a reporter for the Oxford Leader, a videographer, editor, and producer right here at Oxford Community Television. She joined the township team supervisor assistant in January of 2022. Smith says Oxford is a big part of who she is. She also says her role as the deputy supervisor will help give back to the communities and others in the community that raised her. Smith also says she's looking forward to new responsibilities, challenges, and new ways to put her knowledge and skills to good use. The township wishes her the best of luck in her new role, and of course, being an OCTV alum, we wish her well as well. Oxford is one step closer to an independent review at the emergency response to the tragedy of 2021. Oxford High School and the Detroit News reports 5 different risk management emergency response companies have actually submitted different proposals to Oakland County by the deadline of early last week. Oakland County officials are now scoring bids from the companies: Guidepost Solutions, LLC, Centurion Solutions, the Center for Justice Research and Innovation, and the Policing Institute, and the Security Risk Management Consults. County spokesman Bill Mullen said the 5-member committee of county departments and 1 outside expert will select their top 3 of 4 offers, with interviews set up shortly afterward. No independent after-action review of emergency response has been conducted so far in Oxford. In September, the Oakland County Board of Commissioners approved $500,000 for a third-party review supposed to provide an unbiased analysis of the response efforts and the other recommendations for improving safety measures and recovery protocols. According to the board documents, the board hopes the firm will have it all done and completed by December. In additional news related to the Oxford tragedy, Oakland County Circuit Judge Jacob Cunningham's recent ruling has helped to determine how much money Oxford Community Schools owes its victims. Cunningham decides that each bullet that caused an injury is in its own occurrence under Oxford Community Schools insurance policy. This clears up the way in the district to offer $5 million per bodily injury claim. The insurance company argued that its liability for the entire attack should be capped at $5 million. Cunningham's ruling means that each of the 11 victims, who will earn $5 million, creating a total of about $55 million if the judge's ruling applies to the victims who were shot more than once, and for those fired at but not physically struck. The number could go as high as $150 million. The Oxford's Board of Education issued a statement, says, quoting now, "We hope that this ruling paves the way for us to resolve this matter." The Walton Road and Clintonville Road roundabout project is finally coming to a completion. The Road Commission of Oakland County recently opened its 43rd roundabout in the partnership of the Independence Township and opening of the Walden and Clintonville intersection. Also marking the completion of the gravel road paving project on Walton Road. The roundabout was designed to reduce congestion, minimize the potential of serious crashes at the busy intersection. Roundabouts are a key component of the Road Commission safety strategy because they have been shown to decrease the frequency and the severity of crashes. The combined gravel road paving and roundabout construction project cost $15 million and took 2 years to complete. The contractor completed the project on schedule, including updating road markers and signage, improving street lighting and road markers, and improved pedestrian crossings. To enhance the accessibility and safety for the users, pathways and sidewalks in the roundabout's vicinity will remain closed for several weeks for final restoration. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office is seeking public assistance in finding a runaway teen. A 15-year-old Tylea Sparks was seen by her family on September 20th when she allegedly walked away from her home. Sparks has not been seen since her family of 7 weeks. In 7 weeks, she has been active on social media but has not responded to efforts by her family to connect with her. She is 5'8" and has black hair, brown eyes. Anyone who may have seen Sparks is actually encouraged to contact the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. In a rare moment in November, you don't see this often, a November tornado touched down ground in Oakland County last week, specifically so the village of Holly, leaving behind a trail of destruction, no fatalities or injuries. The National Weather Service said it was an EF0 tornado, considered weak amongst tornadoes, but unusual. The 2-minute tornado struck, again, Holly, leaving behind a swath of damaged trees, roofs, power lines. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association Administration, the tornado began in a marshland area, traveled for about a mile northeast into the Holly before dissipating near the center of the town. Weather Service meteorologist Brian Tilley says that strange November tornado is due to low pressure system sweeping through the area and turning into a thunderstorm. Holly's police chief Jerry Narsh said the village of Holly overall escaped a large area of damage caused by this tornado. He said, though, some trees were down and have since been removed. He also said thankful that nobody was injured. Importantly, there were no reports of injury or even death. Tornadoes that have recently arrived in Michigan later than the summer's deadline. In more weather news, dreaming of a warm Christmas. Well, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration recently released its annual winter outlook. The Climate Prediction Center expects to see winter as a little bit more milder and calmer than previous years, with nearly 30 to 40% chance of warmer than average temperatures in the Metro Detroit area. The entire state has 40 to 50% chance of wetter than average conditions. However, according to the Farmer's Almanac, makes a very different prediction. This year marks the 208th edition of the Almanac, which expects the Great Lakes region and north central states to see normal temperatures. According to the Almanac, Michigan can expect periods of wet snow heading into Thanksgiving with a drier forecast to the end of the year. Many weather experts disagree with this Almanac's prediction, although they do say it may be no better than a chance. Finally, the AccuWeather calls for an uptick in snow this season. In December, the agency expected to see a brief blast of cold air that will trigger lake effect snow. And meteorologists around the world said Meteorology Day around the world begins this upcoming Sunday, December 1st, and will go all the way through December 1st. And the winter solstice, of course, we all know, is on the 21st of December. In our Behind the Lens segment this week, Scouts salute our veterans. Last week, Cub Scout Pack 108 paid tribute to the U.S. military veterans resting at the Ridgelawn Memorial Cemetery on West Burdick Street. The Scouts marked each gravesite with an American flag in honor of Veterans Day. By placing a flag, the Scouts were able to say thank you and help preserve the memory of those in honor and those who we honor on that day, protected freedoms. Again, thanks to the Scouts in regards to that. In our last story, I'll have that at the end of the newscast. Free meals for 42 Strong. You know them, you love them. Dave Kenny's coming up with Auto Talk and Science in the News. You are watching Oxford News This Week.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. The BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe receives an update that delivers sportier styling and a revised engine. The 228 xDrive Grand Coupe and M235 xDrive Grand Coupe will launch in March, with the two-wheel drive 228 xDrive Grand Coupe arriving mid-year. The four-door model is built on the same platform that underpins the Mini Countryman. It retains a front-wheel drive setup with Traverse engines. The 225 xDrive Grand Coupe starts at $42,775, and the high-performance M235 xDrive Grand Coupe starts at $50,675. BMW said the 2-liter twin-powered turbo 4-cylinder engine in the 228 xDrive Grand Coupe is heavily revised. The engine produces 295 pound-feet of torque and is mated to a new 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. The power plant, which incorporates a dual injection system, generates 241 horsepower and propels the 228 xDrive Grand Coupe from 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds. The M235 xDrive Grand Coupe delivers 312 horsepower and a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of 4.7 seconds. The 2025 BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe has increased in length by 0.7 inches to 179.2 and still features a long hood and short overhangs. The standard M Sport exterior features a front apron with large air intakes below the wide BMW kidney grille. The headlights are drawn far back into the front fenders. Two vertically and subtly arrow-shaped LED units function as the side marker lights, daytime running lights, and turn signal indicators. An illuminated kidney grille with contour lighting cost extra. Vertically aligned LED elements in the rear lights and the turn indicators echo the design of the light sources inside the headlights. The tailpipes of the 228 xDrive Grand Coupe are integrated into the rear apron, while the M235 xDrive Grand Coupe sports traditional M-Quad tailpipes. A curved display that pairs a 10.25-inch instrument cluster and a 10.7-inch control display anchors the dashboard. Can't wait to see it. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Oxford News this week, our time to talk about sports. Oh yeah, Oxford sports, love that. Oxford varsity football team's historic run came to an abrupt end. The Wildcats lost to a very difficult Grand Blanc team in the district finals. The score, painful, 29-7. Oxford did earn its sole touchdown in the first quarter with quarterback Jack Hendricks threw a 19-yard touchdown pass to Preston Wilder. After Grand Blanc's 2 field goals, Oxford had an early 7 in the 6th to lead. However, it was all Grand Blanc to the end of the game. The Bobcat defense shut down any significant gains from the Wildcats. Oxford finished the season 7 wins, 4 losses. The team was 3-1 in the Oakland Activities Association, making the division champs. Congrats to our own Oxford football team. The Oxford Wildcats is plugging down the field. Once again, they've really improved since entering the OAA Red. Although football season may be over, there's a lot of exciting news to share. Head coach, varsity football coach Zach Line was actually named the 2024 Oakland Activities Association Red League Coach of the Year. Line helped lead the Oxford team to its first league title since back in 2008, the OAA Red League title ever, and a trip to the postseason with a round 1 playoff win. 10 players also earned the OAA Red All-League title. One of those, Luke Johnson, was named Oxford Student Athlete of the Month for the month of October. Over the season, he totaled 17 touchdowns, rushed for 1,300 yards. That's a lot of big accomplishment, and completed over 1,000 tackles. He was the team captain and received, of course, the honorary number 42 jersey honoring Tate Meir. He was also named the All-Region MHSFCA and First Team Offense inside the OAA. The big congrats to him, the Wildcat Athletics and Oxford team members who made the season possible. Heading from the gridiron to the pool side, we like doing that. The girls swim and dive team took home 3rd place in the OAA Blue Division in the league championship matchup. Some of the highlights included, again, the flyer Tristan Krajakarski's diving score of 475. She's now the league champion in diving. All-league, her All-American consideration score is new to the school record, pool record, OAA Blue record, and it broke overall the OAA record set back in 1997. Junior Emma Lajana finished 5th in the sophomore. Lily Kempen, who we saw grow all the way from her first time in the pool. Lily Kempen came in 8th in the same 11 dive event. Again, she's totally grown there near the pool. Krajakarski, Kempen, and Lajana will compete in the 14th Regional Diving Championship. That'll take place at Bloomfield Hills High School. Oxford coach Dave and John Pearson was also named the OAA Blue Division Dive Coach of the Year in 2024. Again, way to go to our athletes that are definitely supporting Oxford. That's going to wrap it in sports. I know Dave Kenny's got something else to talk about. I'll be back with the last story. I'm Jim Hughes. We'll have the last story at the end of this newscast. Stay there. You're watching Oxford News this week.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Ants can be used to make yogurt, and now we know how it works. Simply placing as few as 4 live ants into a container of milk provides enough microbes, enzymes, and acids to kickstart the fermentation process that creates yogurt. Today, most yogurts are produced by fermenting milk using commercially made starters. However, the industrialization of the process has meant that countless traditional fermentation practices from around the world are overlooked. In places including Turkey, Albania, Bulgaria, and Macedonia, researchers have previously documented a cultural practice of using ants as a fermentation starter. To find out more, a team of microbiologists, ethnographers, and ant biologists led by Leonid Jan at the Technical University of Denmark and Veronica Sinot at the University of Copenhagen came together to understand the scientific basis of ant fermentation. The team worked with traditional yogurt makers in Nova Mahala, Bulgaria, to select a red wood ant, or Formica rufa, colony. To produce the yogurt, 4 live ants were added to a glass jar of raw, warmed milk, and then a cheesecloth was placed over the top of the jar, and it was left to ferment overnight. After 1 day, the milk had developed the acidity, texture, and flavor that marked the early stages of yogurt fermentation. It had a slightly tangy taste with mild herbaceousness and pronounced flavors of grass-fed fat, the researchers write in their paper. The team assessed the microorganisms and acids associated with the ants to explore how they contribute to the yogurt fermentation. Milk usually starts to coagulate when certain kinds of bacteria produce lactic acid. Many ants produce formic acid as a chemical defense against predators, and this can also initiate coagulation. 2 species of lactic acid bacteria are commonly found in fermented foods: Lactobacillus delbrueckii bulgaricus and Fructolactobacillus sanfrancensis were seen in the ant yogurt. The latter is commonly found in sourdough cultures used to make bread, but the study raises the possibility that F. sanfrancensis evolved in ants over millions of years before co-opted to make fermented foods. We think this is quite likely that F. sanfrancensis originated in ants or potentially other insects, says Jan. Ian Powell, an independent dairy researcher, says the ant yogurt is an example of how innovative our ancestors were, even though they had no idea of the underlying chemistry and biology of what they were doing. But he doesn't think there is any reason to suggest that this process is the ancestor of all yogurts. After all, the typical microbiota of raw milk include the bacteria necessary for making yogurt at low levels, but the bacteria are there, and under the right conditions, they will thrive. Powell says the ant method sits comfortably with other traditions more often seen in cheese making, such as the addition of acids like lemon juice or vinegar, or plant parts like fig, latex, and thistle extract, and of animal stomach extracts to bring about coagulation. Viewed in that context, adding ants to milk isn't weird at all. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Oxford News This Week. Yes, in our last story this week, free meals from 42 Strong. The peer-to-peer mentorship program recently hosted a food drive to restock the shelves of the free meals program at the Emmanuel Congregational United Church of Christ. Students and parents delivered donations they had collected during the group event earlier in that day. Although 200 students helped collect food, parent volunteer Rebecca Krupa coordinated the donations, and she said that the event takes place every year in November. This year, 42 Strong reached out to Connie Miller, our own Connie Miller, who helps distribute the food through the free meals program every week. Miller said the cabinets were bare and they really needed help, so 42 Strong decided to step in and do what they do. Miller typically spends $600 to $800 each week on groceries to help gather the necessities like milk, eggs, canned and boxed goods. Free meals program and provides 100 to 150 prepared meals each week to area residents, which also is which has seasonal produce, and they bag pantry items to help families out during these struggling times of insecurity. The volunteers were not only kind enough to unload the groceries, but stuck around to actually help restock the shelves. Once again, just one of the gallant efforts, our own Connie Miller. Not only does she work here, but she's always out there, and a great program to be part of. Free meals program, if you get a chance to donate to any food program, especially the one locally, the free meals, probably a good idea. Anyways, I am Jim Hughes. Terry's been out today. She'll be back soon. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Catch all the great stuff that we have on OCTV with sports. Again, what a great football season. We want to thank Mr. Zach Line for his interview that we did. We caught up when we were on the sideline. Also, the many football players that put all their effort into it, and the swimmers as well. Support your Oxford athletics, and the best place to do it is maybe head on down to the arena or even catch it here on the weekend. We do broadcast all sports all weekend long, so you don't miss it here on OCTV. OCTV actually can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99 on the ATT Uver system. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, the Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku. Again, I watch there myself, and I'm 30 miles away. It's beautiful. If you have a show idea and you'd like to volunteer possibly, contact our office. OCTV can give our office a call. You can call us at, again, 248-628-9658. Special thank you going out to our own director extraordinaire, Kyle Snage, news writer Allison Miller, and our station manager, Terry Stiles, who's sometimes on the anchor desk. For everyone here at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. I invite you back next time. And again, we will take a look at Oxford News This Week.